Today we're interviewing Shawn Shafer, responsible for managing VisionWatch, the large-scale continuous research program which monitors consumer trends in the optical industry. He has a bachelor's degree from Boise State University. Hi, Mr. Shafer.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Fine. So, Mr. Shafer, let us begin by talking about the Vision Council. What are its main objectives and how are they carried out? I mean, who is his members, etc.
Sure. Well, our research programs cover basically all aspects of the optical industry. As you mentioned, our members really are the optical manufacturers and producers within the industry, so we provide them the best information we can come up with and find to help them understand exactly what's happening in the market, the trends, and who's being active in purchasing the various products here. Our main program, VisionWatch, is what we call it, is a consumer-based research program. We interview about 110,000 adults every year and gather information from them about the last time they had an exam, if they made any purchases as a result, what types of things they may have purchased, as well as other just general optical purchases like sunglasses or over-the-counter reader devices, any refractive surgeries that they may have had, those types of procedures. And then with some demographic information are able to aggregate that into a picture of the market as a whole.
Okay. In Vision Expo West, you gave a state of the industry address which kicked off the meeting. Please give us a broader picture about the 2014 American optical industry and how it changed over last year.
Yeah, not a problem. So in the address here, we basically went through in a few different sections here, looking at overall trends in vision correction and how that has changed. Really, we're at the point now in the United States where we see a very stable usage of products overall, where basically 3 in 4 of every adult uses some type of vision correction product.
Yeah.
Typically more females than males use some sort of vision correction, as well as, of course, as people age, we all have a greater and greater need of using that. With the population as it stands here, there's about 210 million Plano sunglass users, about 155 prescription eyeglass users. These numbers are all up about a million or so from the previous year. Contact lens usage is up as well. Now at about 39 million users, and so on through the various products. Annual eye exams here, as they were carried out between being held at an independent practice versus at a retail chain or a mass merchandiser club setting. Here, almost 69% of exams in the year coming up to June 2014 were actually held at an independent eye practice, and that's of the total 109 million eye exams up to that point.
Yeah.
Overall, for the vision care market here, we're looking at about $36.6 billion of revenue generated through the various segments. Here, that's over $5.5 billion in exam revenue, which is up 5.5% from 2013. Lens sales are now at $11.3 billion, and frame sales $8.9 billion. Lens sales are up almost 11% over the last 2 years, and frame sales up just almost 5% over the last 2 years. Contact lens sales have been very strong here, rising almost 12% over the last 2 years to $4.3 $3 billion, and Plano sunglass sales up 9% here to $3.8 billion. The remainder here really is for over-the-counter readers at $800 million, rising 8% over the last 2 years. Refractive surgery has definitely been on the decline and has continued, now just at $1.8 billion of revenue, which is down 7% over the last 2 years.
Yeah, and there was a lot of investment, and as you mentioned, the market continues to grow and refine in so many angles every year. And I know that for this year, the innovation was the core of Vision Expo West. Tell us what are your expectations for the next year?
Sure. Well, our expectations of the optical market really are tied in with generally healthy economic expectations for the U.S. And while the people's purchases related to vision are protected to some extent from economic conditions, certainly the amount that they're willing to spend, though, is definitely affected. So in as much as the economic news and conditions continue to gain and increase and grow, we expect the same to be true for people spending on vision products. So generally, very positive, and with demographic growth, a slightly aging population, and then just with population growth overall, we definitely see healthy growth, and probably in the low few percentage points over the next year.
Okay, taking it back from your experience referring to the consumers, I think there are always new things to learn about them and the optical industry as well. So, how do you see the optical industry in the next 3 to 5 years based on the research you have done in consumer trends?
Sure. I think over the sort of near long term, one of the trends that we've been monitoring over the last few years, and we think will continue to play an important role in changing consumer behavior, really will be in terms of online purchases. Right now, we're seeing measuring just over, it's about $1.25 billion of sales in the online retail market. The biggest portion of that is going to contact lenses, where that's been a more mature sort of place for people to be purchasing contact lenses. But lens and frame sales have really risen very rapidly over the last few years. That's now close to $500 million in combined sales, and have really grown at about a 30% rate over the last 2 years. Plano sunglass sales are certainly up at least as much, even though we're measuring that at just about $184 million in sales. So that's a consumer just shift in actual buying behavior and how comfortable they are using sort of this new platform. And so we'll have to see exactly how merchandisers, if that's an independent practice or the chains, actually respond to some of those shifts and potentially provide more options for the people walking in their doors to provide services and avenues for selling to their patients.
Yeah. Please give us a light or an idea of how do you see the impact of the American market in Latin America on how it could be in the next few years?
Sure, that's definitely an interesting question. We have very limited information as far as in the Americas outside of the United States.
Yeah.
But we certainly know that Brazil, for instance, we get quite a lot of inquiries about the Brazilian market and Latin America in general. Given that, we understand that really it's growing overall, and just consumer demand is up education is rising as far as the products and availability. So it's very limited as far as the information I have, but from the interest we hear, we imagine that it's actually a very positive thing.
Okay. He's Shawn Shafer, responsible for managing VisionWatch. Thank you so much for this interview and thank you for giving us this information.
I'm very, very glad to have done it. You're very welcome.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.